Hello everyone, hope you're all doing good. So, today's topic would be on what is delusion. So, let's start. Delusion is a thought disorder. Here, the patient will have false, fixed, and firm belief. And for the patient, the belief what they are believing will be very true. And no one can remove their thoughts with any kind of explanations. It will remain true to that patient even if 100 people tell them that it is not correct. And if someone tries to convince the patient by telling that what you're thinking is not true and all, the patient will be ready to leave that person but not the belief what they're having. So, how much ever evidences you give, they will never agree to you. So that is delusion. I hope you have understood till now. Delusion is a thought disorder in which the patient will have a false, fixed, and firm belief, and that belief cannot be removed by anyone with any kind of explanations or evidences. Okay, whatever evidences you give or explanation you give to the patient, that thoughts cannot be removed from the patient's mind. So, you might have heard of the word shakable in some textbooks, right? So, shakable means since the person have created a belief that is firm, fixed, but false belief, it is very difficult to break that belief, right? So, what we'll do is we'll do counseling. That is, we take them to a doctor, and doctor will do counseling. That is CBT. Cognitive behavior therapy will be done. In CBT, what will happen is the doctor will start working on the patient's thoughts and will try to change the thoughts of the patient. So, here the delusions will be shaked for some time. That is, the thoughts of the patients will be shaked for some time. But after some time, they will again come back to the same thought. That is, it can be shakeable, but again the same false thought comes back to the patient. So, even with psychotherapy, it is very difficult to treat people with delusions. Okay, now let's see what are the various types of delusions one by one. First one is delusion of reference. In this delusion, the patient will think that people are talking about me. Like, for example, if two people are laughing or talking about something else, the patient will start thinking that those people are talking about me or they are laughing on me. Like that. And one more example is like if music is played on the radio, the patient will start thinking that that music is played for me. So whatever is happening around the patient will start thinking it is for them. Okay, whatever is happening is it is for them. So that is delusion of reference. The second one is delusion of persecution. This is the most common disorder. In this, the patient will become more suspicious. The patient will start thinking that his or her own family members or any other person can harm the patient physically or mentally. And the patient will start believing that he or she will be attacked or cheated, spied, or harassed anytime. And for their own safety, they will keep making repeated complaints to legal authorities. But in reality, that will not be true. But because of the patient's thoughts, the patient will be making repeated complaints to legal authorities. And it will be seen mainly in people with schizophrenia. Okay. Now, third one is delusion of grandiosity. In this, the patient's self esteem will be very increased, and these people will think that they have some special powers or authority, and they have some special powers to cure all the disorders in human beings, or they'll think that they have more wealth. But in reality, they will not have even 10 rupees, but they'll think that he's the wealthiest man and all. And they'll think that like they have great knowledge or talent. God has created them to rule out the entire world and all. So this is mainly seen in manic patients. So next is delusion of infidelity, or it is also called as delusion of jealousy. In this, the patient will start thinking that their spouse is not faithful, and they'll keep searching for evidences, but they will never get any evidence. But still, they'll think that their partner is not faithful and they are having some extramarital affairs and all. So it is mainly seen in people who are alcoholic dependent. Okay, next is nihilistic delusion. it is a delusion of non-existence. Here, the patient will think that they have lost their own internal organs, or they are not existing entirely as a human beings at all. Like for example, like the patient will start thinking that they have lost their right eye in a car accident, but in reality there will be no problem with their right eye, but the patient will think that they have lost their right eye, or they'll start thinking that I died 25 years ago, now my only spirit is remaining, or they'll think like my brain has rotted away. So the patient start thinking unnecessary things which is not real, and the patient will even engage in suicidal activities sometimes. So it is mainly seen in people with major depressions. Okay, that is nihilistic delusion. Now next we'll see what is delusion of guilt. In this, the person will think that they have done something sinful or shameful. Okay, here the patients will convince themselves like they are the responsible for the occurrences of any disaster like fire, flood, or earthquake, and the patient will think that they are responsible for such and so disasters and all, and in reality that cannot be their fault at all, right? And this can cause depression in the patient, and it is caused by sleep disturbances or extreme stress, and it can also occur by some physical conditions like brain injury or tumor, drug addiction, or even alcoholism. Okay, next is delusion of erotomania. So it is a belief that other person is in deeply love with him or her. That is, other person is in deeply love with the patient, and the other person can be usually of higher status, like some actor or doctor, like that. Okay, for example, like the patient will believe that a local news anchor is saying certain things on TV to get their attention, so they are usually in love with the person who are very far away from them. So that is delusion of erotomania. So that's all for today's video. I hope you have understood what is delusions and the types of delusions. We'll come up with new topics in the next video. Till then, thank you. Bye guys.